Good morning. So it's Sunday morning, and I actually didn't just wake up because I already had one of my online coaching sessions this morning with a group going through the book 13 Weeks to Love, which is fantastic. If you've never heard of it, never gone through it, totally check that book out. It's a really, really great group coaching, personal development kind of book. Anyway, still no AC. Update on the AC, and so I am eating a strawberry fruit popsicle, and I hope you won't hate me for it, because I'm doing whatever I can to stay cool. And yeah, honestly, living in heat like this kills your appetite, so I suppose there's perks to that. But anyway, we are in Isaiah chapter 4 this morning in our Jesus bubble, and I just think this is such a beautiful passage. It's one of the shortest chapters in the Bible. And hey guys, I see those of you who's waving at you who have, turn it back around, sorry. Thank you for joining. So Isaiah chapter 4, it's only 6 verses, and it's super short, but also very power-packed. And we've just gotten done with chapters 1 through 3, which are all warnings about God's judgment and warnings about how God is wanting us to change, wanting us to make choices, because he doesn't force them on us, but to make choices to do the right things, because he knows that those things will bring us the most happiness. It's like a loving parent who just really doesn't want your child to run out in the street, to touch a hot stove, to play with knives, all of those things that you know as a parent are going to cause pain. And sometimes, you know, not like running out in the street, but sometimes you have to let your child touch something hot in order to learn the lesson, because they just refuse to listen to you. But ideally, you have the ability to prevent pain as much as possible by teaching your children as a parent what to choose and what not to choose, if they will listen to you. Well, that's like the whole theme of Isaiah, is God as this loving parent who's also sometimes heartbroken, because he wants us to listen and hear what he has to say about which choices will make us happiest and most at peace. So Isaiah chapter 4, verse 2 says, "In that day, the branch of the Lord will be glorious and beautiful. The fruit of the land will be the pride and glory of all who survive. All who remain in Zion will be a holy people, those who have survived the destruction of Jerusalem. And the Lord will wash the filth from beautiful Zion," I'm in verse 4 of Isaiah 4, "and cleanse Jerusalem of its bloodstains with the hot breath of fiery judgment." So, you know, a lot of times we talk about judgment, and we talk about judgment with this whole terrified, tremulous angst and fear. And that's really not how God wants us to view judgment. Judgment is cleansing. Judgment is washing away everything that gets in between us and him. So washing away the filth. And then, verse 5, "The Lord will provide shade for Mount Zion. He will provide a canopy of cloud during the day, and smoke and flaming fire at night, covering the glorious land. It will be a shelter from daytime heat and a hiding place from storms and rain." Now, I'm thinking, let's put ourselves here in the context of where Israel was living. So when we're talking about this, think about the type of homes, tents, huts, and desert. And when you go to the desert during the day, it may be 115 degrees, but what does it feel like at night? At night, the desert doesn't hold the heat. It gets cold. And in the day, it's burning hot. And in the desert, there's no forest. There's no trees to take shelter under. So you can't hide from rain and thunder and lightning in the desert, because you're just open, exposed to the elements. So if you think about it, you're like out hiking at one of the, the parks in Moab, Utah, or something like that. And if you imagine it from that point of view, God says he will provide shade with a canopy of cloud during the day. Have you ever been hiking in the desert and then a cloud passes between you and the sun and you're just like, there's a break from the sun beating down. And then smoke and flaming fire at night. Well, what does smoke do? When you're out in the middle of the elements, smoke keeps the bugs away, right? Smoke, a campfire, keeps the mosquitoes away, keeps the bugs off of you. And a fire at night keeps you warm and lighted, which means it keeps the ravenous animals away, it keeps the danger away, and it keeps you warm because the desert falls into low, cold temperatures in this extreme fluctuation of temperature between day and night. So what God is saying here is, and a shelter and a hiding place from storms and rain when there's no trees to shelter under and no place for you to go. So what God is saying here is that those who are faithful to him, he will protect, he will shelter, he will provide, he will restore, and he will break the bondage. He washes away the filth, he cleanses us, he helps us choose to get rid of the things standing between us and him. And as we do that, he provides warmth when it's cold. He provides shade when it's hot. He provides shelter from the storms and the rain. He provides smoke to keep the bugs away. He does whatever he can do to be a protector, to surround us and to cover us, to keep us safe, because he loves us so very much. So my question to you today, as you think about it, is what is God doing in your desert that is a shade, that is a fire for warmth, that is smoke to keep the pests away, that is a shelter from an outburst of rain or a thundercloud, protecting you from the storm? How is God being your protector, provider, light, and covering, even if you're living in the desert? And those are my thoughts from my Jesus bubble this morning in Isaiah 4. Have a great day.